My child, oh my God, your person secretly compared you to someone else. The results shocked everyone around them. Stop for just a moment, because what you are about to hear is not ordinary. This message arrived at the exact moment you needed it, and if you leave now, you may miss the one revelation that changes the way you see everything. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a truth that remained hidden until now, and today that hidden truth begins to unfold before your eyes. Your person recently found themselves standing in a moment they never expected. Without warning, they quietly began comparing you to someone else. They never planned to do it. They never told anyone they were doing it. It happened naturally, deep inside their thoughts, where no one else could see. They looked at another smile, but somehow it reminded them of your kindness. They listened to another voice, but it lacked the comfort they once felt whenever they imagined hearing yours. They noticed another personality, but something inside whispered that it simply did not carry the same peace your presence seemed to bring. At first, they believed the comparison would help them move forward. They convinced themselves that someone else could replace what they thought they had left behind. But every comparison led them somewhere unexpected. Every road somehow circled back to you. Don't skip, because this is only the beginning. The deeper they compared, the stranger everything became. They started remembering little details they had forgotten for so long. A conversation that once seemed ordinary suddenly became unforgettable. A small act of kindness you showed appeared far more valuable than they realized. The way you listened, the way you cared, the way you stayed genuine without asking for applause slowly became impossible to ignore. They tried to focus on what was in front of them, but their heart kept bringing your name back into the room even when nobody spoke it aloud. Something huge is waiting for you, because the comparison did not end the way they expected. Instead of proving someone else was better, it revealed something that surprised even them. They discovered that the qualities they had been searching for were already connected to the memories they shared with you. Every time they believed someone else matched your energy, another moment reminded them that what they experienced with you carried a depth they had never truly appreciated before. They became quieter than usual. The people around them noticed the change. They asked simple questions, wondering why your person suddenly looked so thoughtful. No one understood what was happening inside, because this battle was completely silent. It was not about choosing one person over another. It became about realizing what had always been meaningful. Stay till the end, because the next part of this story changes everything. As the days passed, your person unintentionally revealed small clues. They paused during conversations. They smiled at unexpected moments. They became lost inside memories they had tried to leave behind. Those around them started noticing that every discussion somehow returned to the same feeling. They could not explain it, but they were measuring every connection against something invisible. That invisible standard was you. They did not even realize they were doing it until someone close to them casually asked a simple question that stopped them completely. Why do you always compare everyone to the same person? The room became silent. Time almost seemed to freeze. For the first time, they realized they had never truly let go of the place you held inside their heart. Don't skip. Stay until the very end, because what happened after that question left everyone speechless. Instead of denying it, they sat quietly, reflecting on every comparison they had made. One by one, they recognized that nobody had truly replaced what they once felt. It was not because others lacked value. It was because the connection they remembered with you carried something rare that could not simply be copied. Something huge is waiting for you because the greatest realization had not even happened yet. The comparison that began as an attempt to move on became the very reason they started understanding your true worth. And what they discovered next would become impossible for them to ignore. Before the story moves any further, listen carefully because the next few moments reveal the part that nobody expected. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. After that silent comparison ended, your person believed they could simply forget about it and continue with life as usual. But something unexpected happened. Every new conversation they had, every new face they met, and every new experience they stepped into quietly reminded them of you again. It was never planned. It was never intentional. Yet the more they tried to focus on the present, the stronger the memories became. They began noticing qualities they once overlooked. They remembered your patience when situations became difficult. They remembered how naturally you encouraged others without expecting anything in return. They remembered the quiet confidence you carried, the kind that could never be copied because it belonged only to you. Suddenly they realized they had been comparing appearances before, but now they were comparing character, and that changed everything. Don't skip because this is where the story becomes even more surprising. One ordinary moment turned into something unforgettable. While listening to someone speak, your person suddenly caught themselves thinking, "This still doesn't feel the same." They were not searching for perfection anymore. They were searching for familiarity, for peace, for authenticity, and every path continued leading back to the same realization. The comparison was no longer between two people. It became a comparison between temporary impressions and something that had quietly remained inside their heart for much longer than they admitted. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. The people around them slowly started noticing the change without knowing the reason behind it. Someone smiled and jokingly asked why your person seemed distracted lately. Another noticed they became unusually quiet whenever relationships were discussed. A close friend casually mentioned your name during a conversation, expecting nothing unusual to happen. But the moment they heard your name, their entire expression changed. They tried to hide it, but everyone nearby noticed that brief silence. It lasted only a few seconds, yet it revealed more than words ever could. Nobody understood why that single name carried so much weight. Only your person knew the answer. They finally understood that every comparison had been leading toward one undeniable truth. They had never truly been searching for someone else. Without realizing it, they had been searching for the feeling they once experienced whenever thoughts of you entered their heart. Don't skip because the next discovery completely transformed their perspective. That evening, they found themselves reflecting on moments they had not remembered in a very long time. Small conversations suddenly felt meaningful. Tiny details they once ignored became unforgettable. They realized that what made you unforgettable was never something dramatic. It was the consistency of your kindness, the honesty in your words, and the calm presence that quietly stayed with them long after every conversation ended. These were the things no comparison could replace. Something huge is waiting for you because the greatest realization still had not arrived. Your person finally asked themselves a question they had been avoiding for far too long: if every comparison keeps bringing me back to the same person, what am I really trying to tell myself? That question echoed through their thoughts again and again. For the first time, they stopped comparing completely. Instead, they started appreciating what had always been there. They recognized that some connections are not measured by excitement alone but by the lasting impact they leave behind. And when they looked honestly at every memory, every feeling, and every comparison they had made, one truth stood above everything else. You had become the standard they unknowingly measured everyone against, and that realization surprised not only them but everyone who slowly began noticing the quiet transformation happening right before their eyes. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something even bigger is about to be revealed in the next part. Everything changed again when your person stopped comparing faces and started comparing feelings. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. This was the moment no one around them saw coming. Until now, they believed the comparison was about finding someone similar to you. But suddenly they realized they had been asking the wrong question all along. It was never about who looked better, who spoke better, or who seemed more interesting. The real question quietly became, who makes me feel the way that person did? The answer refused to change. Every honest thought pointed back to you. That realization was impossible to ignore because it arrived naturally, without anyone trying to convince them. It felt like a truth they had accidentally discovered instead of something they were searching for. They tried to challenge that thought. They reminded themselves of every reason they had once tried to move forward. Yet every reason slowly became weaker than the memories they carried. The more they reflected, the clearer everything became. They remembered conversations that once seemed ordinary but now felt extraordinary. They remembered moments where your calm words stayed with them long after the conversation ended. They remembered how your presence brought a quiet comfort that no comparison had ever matched. Don't skip because this next moment became unforgettable. During an ordinary conversation with someone close to them, your person was asked a simple question. If you had one chance to relive a conversation from the past, which one would it be? They expected themselves to think for a long time, but the answer arrived immediately. Without saying it aloud, they pictured a moment with you. It surprised even them. Out of every memory they could have chosen, their heart selected one connected to you without hesitation. That single realization became stronger than every comparison they had ever made. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. They began noticing another unexpected change. Instead of searching for differences between people, they started appreciating the rare qualities that made you unforgettable. They realized your kindness never demanded attention. Your honesty never needed approval. Your encouragement came naturally, even during ordinary moments. These were not loud qualities, yet they remained impossible to replace. They quietly admitted to themselves that these were the very things they had been missing without understanding why. Every comparison had unknowingly revealed your value instead of diminishing it. The more they accepted this truth, the more peaceful they became. The confusion that once filled their minds slowly disappeared. They no longer felt the need to measure every connection against another because one comparison had already answered every question they carried. Something huge is waiting for you because the greatest surprise happened next. Someone close to your person noticed the change and smiled before saying, "You seem different these days." It's almost like you've finally understood something important. Those words stayed with them longer than expected. They quietly realized that was exactly what had happened. They had understood something important. They had finally recognized that certain people leave an impact that time cannot easily erase. Some connections continue speaking long after conversations end. Some memories quietly grow stronger instead of fading. And yours had become exactly that. Don't skip because the story is about to reach a turning point unlike anything before. That evening, your person made a silent promise to themselves. They would stop pretending that every comparison had no meaning. Instead, they would face the truth it had been revealing from the very beginning. Every comparison had led to the same destination. Every answer had pointed toward the same person. Every quiet reflection carried the same name inside their heart. They could no longer call it coincidence because it had happened too many times. They finally understood that what shocked everyone around them was not the comparison itself. It was the undeniable realization that no matter who entered their life, the qualities they valued most had always reminded them of you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something even bigger is waiting in the next part, where a single unexpected moment changes everything they thought they knew. The next moment became impossible for your person to forget because something happened that no comparison could explain. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They were surrounded by ordinary conversations, ordinary faces, and ordinary moments, yet one unexpected thought interrupted everything. It arrived without warning. It was quiet, but it was powerful. They suddenly realized they had stopped searching for someone who reminded them of you because every comparison had already given them the answer. Instead of asking who was similar to you, they began asking why your memory still felt so alive. That question changed everything. The more they reflected, the more they understood that some people leave an impression that becomes part of your story forever. They could no longer pretend that what they felt was temporary because every passing day only made the realization stronger. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Soon another unexpected moment unfolded. Someone close to your person mentioned that everyone eventually moves on and forgets old connections. Those words sounded simple, but they created complete silence inside your person's mind. Instead of agreeing, they quietly thought about every comparison they had made over the past weeks. They realized that moving forward had never erased the respect, admiration, and appreciation they still carried for you. In fact, every attempt to move on had only revealed qualities they had failed to notice before. They finally understood that distance can sometimes make truth easier to recognize. Don't skip because the next realization surprised even them. They remembered one small detail about you that nobody else would have considered important. It was not something dramatic. It was the way you made ordinary moments feel meaningful. It was the way you listened with genuine attention. It was the way your words stayed calm even when situations became uncertain. Those simple qualities became impossible to replace because they were real. Your person finally admitted that authenticity is much rarer than excitement, and that was exactly what every comparison had been revealing all along. Something huge is waiting for you because people around them slowly began noticing the transformation. They became more thoughtful before speaking. They smiled quietly whenever certain memories appeared. They stopped rushing to judge new people because they now understood that true value is discovered over time, not in first impressions. Friends noticed the difference. Family noticed the difference. Even those who barely knew them could sense they had become calmer and more reflective. Nobody understood why, but your person knew the answer. They had learned something that completely changed the way they looked at relationships. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something even greater is about to unfold. One evening, while sitting alone with their thoughts, they asked themselves the question they had avoided from the very beginning. What if every comparison was never meant to separate people? What if it was meant to reveal what truly mattered? The answer arrived almost immediately. Every comparison had highlighted your patience. Every comparison had highlighted your sincerity. Every comparison had highlighted the quiet strength that made your presence unforgettable. The result that shocked everyone around them was not simply that you stood out. It was that no matter how many comparisons happened, the conclusion remained exactly the same every single time. They finally understood that genuine connections are not built on perfect moments. They are built on consistent kindness, lasting respect, and memories that continue growing stronger with time. That realization became impossible to ignore, and it quietly prepared them for a decision they never expected to make. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you because the next part reveals the decision that changed the direction of everything they believed about you forever. The silence that followed became louder than any conversation your person had experienced before. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. After every comparison, every memory, and every quiet realization, they finally reached a moment where they could no longer ignore what had been unfolding inside them. It was no longer a passing thought. It had become a clear understanding. Every path they explored somehow returned to the same place. Every answer led back to the same name. Every comparison pointed toward the same unforgettable connection. They stopped asking themselves who was better because they had finally discovered that the comparison was never about winning or losing. It was about recognizing value that had been hidden in plain sight all along. That realization changed the way they looked at everything. They began replaying ordinary moments that once seemed insignificant. A simple smile. A thoughtful conversation. A quiet act of kindness. Small details they once overlooked suddenly became the strongest memories they carried. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Then an unexpected moment arrived that completely caught them off guard. Someone casually asked them to describe the kind of person they truly admired. Without thinking, they started describing qualities instead of appearances. Honest. Calm. Genuine. Encouraging. Patient. Trustworthy. As they continued speaking, they suddenly paused. Every quality they had just mentioned reminded them of you. The realization came so quickly that even they were surprised. They had not intended to describe you, yet every word naturally painted your picture. Don't skip because this is where everything takes another unforgettable turn. That evening, your person quietly admitted something to themselves that they had never spoken aloud before. They understood that comparisons can reveal hidden truths. Instead of pulling them away from you, every comparison had quietly pulled them closer to understanding your importance. They realized that what made you unforgettable was never something loud or dramatic. It was the consistency of your character. It was the quiet confidence you carried. It was the peace your presence created without trying to impress anyone. Those qualities became impossible to replace because they were real, and real things only become more valuable with time. Something huge is waiting for you because the people around them noticed one final change. They stopped searching for excitement alone and started appreciating authenticity. They became more thoughtful, more patient, and more grateful for meaningful connections. When conversations about relationships happened, they no longer focused on appearances or first impressions. They quietly reflected on the qualities that remain long after the first meeting is over. That shift surprised everyone because it seemed to happen almost overnight. But your person knew it had not happened overnight at all. It had happened through every comparison, every memory, and every quiet lesson that eventually revealed the same truth. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you because the next chapter reveals the decision they made after accepting what every comparison had been trying to show them from the very beginning, and that decision would become the moment everything finally started moving in a completely new direction. The final piece of the puzzle appeared when your person stopped running from the truth and finally allowed themselves to see everything clearly. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Every comparison they had made, every memory they had revisited, and every quiet realization had been leading toward this single moment. They looked back at the beginning and finally understood that what they thought was a comparison had actually been a journey of discovery. They had searched for someone who could create the same feeling you once did, but every attempt quietly revealed the same answer. Your presence had never been replaced because it had never been ordinary. It was built on honesty, consistency, and moments that continued growing more meaningful with time. The result that shocked everyone around them was not simply that you stood out. It was that every sincere reflection strengthened their appreciation instead of weakening it. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Then one quiet afternoon, your person experienced a moment they never expected. They found themselves smiling at a memory they had not thought about in a long time. It was not a grand event. It was a simple moment that most people would have forgotten. Yet it returned with incredible clarity, reminding them that the strongest connections are often built through ordinary moments shared with extraordinary sincerity. That single memory carried more meaning than countless new experiences. It quietly confirmed everything they had been learning. Don't skip because the next realization changed their perspective forever. They finally understood that every comparison had been asking one silent question: who leaves a lasting impact when the conversation ends? Every honest answer brought them back to you. They realized that your kindness had lingered long after your words were spoken. Your encouragement had continued inspiring them even in your absence. Your authenticity had become the standard by which they unknowingly measured every meaningful connection. This truth arrived so naturally that it felt impossible to deny. Something huge is waiting for you because your person made one final promise to themselves. They would never again ignore the lessons hidden inside quiet moments. They would never dismiss genuine character while chasing temporary impressions. They would value sincerity above appearance, consistency above excitement, and lasting peace above passing emotions. Those who knew them noticed the difference immediately. They became more intentional with their choices, more grateful for meaningful relationships, and more aware of the rare qualities that truly matter. Everyone around them wondered what had changed. Only your person understood that the answer had been revealed through the comparisons they never expected to make. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you because this story leaves behind one unforgettable truth. Sometimes life allows comparisons not to divide hearts but to reveal hidden value. Sometimes the greatest realization arrives quietly instead of dramatically. And sometimes the person who quietly remained in the background becomes the one who leaves the deepest and most unforgettable impression. That is exactly what happened here. Every comparison became another reminder of your unique place in their story. Every reflection brought greater clarity. Every memory carried greater meaning. In the end, what shocked everyone was not that your person compared you to someone else. What truly shocked everyone was that every single comparison led them back to the same conclusion. Your genuine heart, your quiet strength, and your lasting impact could not be replaced. And that realization became the moment they finally understood what had been standing before them all along.